So I'm just going to start by cutting the corn off the cob. The only downside is I can't get my kernels in far enough because the corn's still raw. If it's summertime for you, you can go outside and put a cob on the grill and do the same method I'm using today. So I'm just going to skip a step ahead. Instead of dirtying another bowl, I'm going to just put my corn right in my pot. Okay, yep, so I'm gonna get my pot heated up on high heat, and I'm going to still continue to work on my veggies for the escabeche on the cutting board while this is working. So also in my escabeche, I'm going to be using carrots, jalapenos, and onion. And I'm going to use my food processor to slice up my carrots for me, since I already have it out. If I didn't have my food processor out, I would just use a mandolin, or just take my time and make really clean cuts in equally spaced slices of my carrot. Cool, right?
Look at that.
Ah.
I thought I would just chop it into chunks.
On the other side, it like shreds it.
What do you mean on the other side?
It like, cause the food processor has 2 plates.
Oh.
So depending on what side you use, it'll either shred it or it'll, yeah. All right, so my corn's sizzling. I'm gonna add some oil. And keep on working. I have like 3 jalapenos. And I haven't decided if I want to do slivers or make it uniform and just cut them into slices. If you like spicy stuff, you can use the food processor and just put the jalapeno right in. But then all your seeds will go in, so that's good if you like spice. But I want to keep mine a little bit moderate today. So I'm just going to slice them and de-seed them. Also, a lot of the times when I make pickles, I just put my ingredients in the jar and then I just pour the brine over and let it come to room temperature. I'm going to actually cook some of this carrot, or I'm going to actually cook this mixture a little bit in the vinegar today so that I can tenderize the carrots a little bit more than I would usually. And I'm only going to use 2 jalapenos for this. So I'm going to make my brine ahead of time. You can find recipes online that tell you like the parts, like equal parts, sugar and water and various things like that. Or you can kind of do what I do and just put your ingredients in a bowl. So start with your vinegar and a small amount of water, and then add in sugar, give it a taste, and see if it's where you want it to be. And that way you can come up with your own brining solution that you like the best. You can hear my corn popping. So I had to put the lid on it so it won't pop out at me. So I'm using white vinegar. You can use whatever vinegar you want, actually. White's the cheapest. Mama likes a bargain. In goes the salt. And a little bit of water. You can actually even play around. You'll get some coloration from the red onion, but if you wanted to add red wine vinegar in too, it'll give your solution more of a red tinge to it. All right, I'm going to start adding in my salt, or my sugar. No, it pops. It just pops. Okay, and a little bit, or a decent amount more salt. And I'm going to taste it. So right now, it's still really tart. I want my pickled veg to be a little bit sweeter. So just another handful of sugar will do the trick. So you can see it's really pretty. It's not burnt. There's just a lot of like caramelized nice bits in here. That's gonna add so much flavor to the ceviche. I'm so excited. All right, so here we go. My solution's in, and the sweetness of the corn is going to add another depth of flavor as well. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pop my veggies in now too. And I'm gonna wait for it to come to a boil. And then I'll turn off the heat. It's so pretty, look at those colors. I'm going to let this cool for a second and then I'll put it in a jar. I'm going to bring over my pickles. Pickle ceviche. It's a little bit trickier to get the ceviche in this jar, so I'm going to see what else I have around that I can use to pour it in. So these pickles are meant to be stored in the fridge. If you want to have pickles that you can store on your shelf, it's a different process. And it's a lot more of a sterile process. You want to keep this pretty sterile as well, but once you're storing things at room temperature, that's when you have to be really, really careful. Let's just make a mess at this point. And we're done. So there we're done. Having too much fun here. All right, so you can store this in the fridge. And you'd also want to date this too. I've kept pickles in the fridge for like a year, so with all the vinegar in there, I don't think you'd have to worry too much about storing. I'm gonna let this cool on the counter before I stick it in the fridge.